Before time began, God existed in eternal perfection, complete, lacking nothing, embodying love, light, and life. From divine purpose, he willed creation into existence. His masterpiece reflects infinite wisdom, beauty, and glory, unfolding a story of love and perfection made tangible. From the void came a command, resonant and firm. Let there be light. At once, light exploded into being, a radiant force that chased away the darkness. God saw the light and declared it good. Dividing it from the darkness, he named the light day and the darkness night. Evening fell and morning rose, the first day. On the second day, God created a vast expanse to separate the waters. He called this expanse sky, stretching above like a divine canopy. Clouds gathered in the heavens, and the waters below awaited his next command. With a word, dry land emerged, pushing aside the waters to reveal soil rich and fertile. God named the dry ground earth, and the gathered waters seas. Then with another command, the earth brought forth vegetation, mighty oaks and delicate wildflowers, towering cedars and sprawling vineyards. Every seed bore its kind, and the earth flourished in vibrant color. The fourth day brought luminaries to the heavens. The sun was set ablaze to rule the day, its light warming the earth and nurturing life. The moon, pale and gentle, governed the night. Stars scattered across the skies, their brilliance a reminder of the Creator's majesty. The waters teemed with life. Schools of fish shimmered beneath the surface, and great leviathans stirred the depths. Above, the sky was alive with birds of every kind, eagles soaring high, sparrows chirping sweet melodies. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." On the sixth day, the earth brought forth creatures of every kind. Lions roared, deer leapt through meadows, and sheep grazed peacefully. Yet the pinnacle of God's creation was yet to come. God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." From the dust of the ground, he formed a man and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. The man opened his eyes, seeing the world through the clarity of innocence and wonder. God named him Adam and placed him in the Garden of Eden, a paradise unmatched in beauty. Eden was a masterpiece. Rivers flowed through it, their waters clear and sparkling. Trees of every kind stood tall, their fruit abundant. Birds sang, and the air was fragrant with the scent of blossoms. At the center of the garden were two special trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God instructed Adam, "You may eat freely from every tree in the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For on the day you eat of it, you shall surely die." Seeing that Adam was alone, God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." He caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep, took a rib from his side, and from it fashioned a woman. When Adam awoke, he exclaimed with joy, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh." He named her Eve. Adam and Eve lived in perfect harmony, innocent, unashamed, and in communion with their Creator. Near the center of Eden, the serpent, the craftiest of all creatures, approached Eve. With a voice as smooth as honey, it questioned God's command. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve replied, "We may eat from the trees, but not from the tree of knowledge. If we eat or touch it, we will die." The serpent's eyes gleamed. "You will not surely die. God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like him, knowing good and evil." Eve looked at the fruit. It was beautiful, its aroma intoxicating. Desire welled up within her, desire for wisdom, for something forbidden. She reached out, took the fruit, and ate. She gave some to Adam, who ate as well. At once their eyes were opened, and they realized their nakedness. Overwhelmed with shame, they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves and hid among the trees. God called out, "Adam, where are you?" Trembling, Adam replied, "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." God's heart was heavy as he addressed them. "Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" Adam blamed Eve, and Eve blamed the serpent. To the serpent, God said, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock. You will crawl on your belly, and I will put enmity between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. To Eve, he said, I will greatly increase your pain in childbirth, and your desire will be for your husband, but he will rule over you. To Adam, he said, the ground is cursed because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat from it all your life. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. God clothed Adam and Eve with garments of animal skin, a foreshadowing of the sacrifice that would one day cover all sin. Then he banished them from Eden, placing cherubim with a flaming sword to guard the way to the tree of life. As Adam and Eve left, they carried with them the weight of their choice and the hope of God's promise, a future Redeemer who would restore what was lost. Adam and Eve stood at the edge of Eden, looking back at the paradise they had lost. The lush greenery, the rivers that sparkled under the sun, and the presence of God that had once been their comfort, all were now out of reach. The cherubim, radiant and imposing, guarded the gate with a flaming sword that turned in every direction. As they turned away, the reality of their new life began to settle in. The land beyond Eden was wild and untamed, a stark contrast to the perfection they had known. The ground was hard, the air carried a chill, and survival would require labor they had never experienced. Adam and Eve began to cultivate the land. The soil resisted their efforts, filled with thorns and weeds. Eve, with her growing belly, felt the weight of God's words. As her first child grew within her, she experienced pain and discomfort unknown in Eden. Yet with each struggle, they held on to the memory of God's promise, that one day a descendant would crush the serpent's head. When their first son Cain was born, Eve exclaimed, "With the help of the Lord I have brought forth a man." The joy of new life momentarily eased their sorrow. Soon after, Abel was born, and the family grew. Adam often reflected on their choice in Eden. The fruit had promised wisdom, but delivered a heavy burden. Was this freedom, to know both good and evil and to bear the consequences of choice? He remembered the serenity of walking with God in the cool of the day, a peace now replaced by the toil of survival. Yet even in their separation, he felt God's presence, watching, waiting, and sustaining. As generations passed, the effects of Adam and Eve's decision rippled through humanity. Sin, once an abstract concept, became a reality. Jealousy, anger, and violence emerged. Cain, consumed by jealousy, killed Abel, staining the ground with his brother's blood. Adam and Eve mourned deeply, their hearts breaking under the weight of their son's actions. "This was not how it was meant to be," Adam lamented. Yet amidst the darkness, life continued. Seth was born, and through him, a line would emerge, leading to the promised Redeemer. The tree of life and the tree of knowledge remained in Eden, untouched and guarded. The tree of life, a symbol of eternal communion with God, stood as a reminder of what had been lost. The tree of knowledge, now stripped of its allure, symbolized humanity's separation from divine innocence. Would humanity ever regain access to the tree of life? The question lingered, pointing forward to a redemption that would come through another tree, the cross. Even as Adam and Eve faced the hardships of their new life, they clung to the hope of God's promise. The serpent's deception had brought death, but God's words hinted at a future victory. The phrase, "He will crush your head and you will strike his heel," became a beacon of hope, a prophecy of a Savior who would restore what had been lost. As Adam grew older, he often shared this promise with his children and grandchildren. Around fires and under starry skies, he recounted the glory of Eden, the sorrow of the fall, and the unwavering faithfulness of God. The descendants of Adam and Eve spread across the earth. They built cities, cultivated lands, and developed cultures, yet the stain of sin remained. Wars were fought, alliances were broken, and humanity's struggle with sin deepened. Amid the darkness, moments of light shone through. People began to call on the name of the Lord, seeking his guidance and favor. Prophets arose, reminding humanity of God's promise and his desire for reconciliation. The effects of the fall were not limited to humanity. All of creation groaned under the weight of sin. Storms raged, the earth quaked, and the balance of nature shifted. The harmony of Eden was replaced by a world in conflict. Yet even in this brokenness, the beauty of God's handiwork remained evident, a testament to his enduring love. The story of Adam and Eve points forward to another garden, Gethsemane. In Eden, the first Adam chose his will over God's, bringing death to humanity. In Gethsemane, the second Adam, Jesus Christ, chose God's will over his own, bringing life to all who believe. The parallels between the two gardens are profound. Both involve a choice, both carry eternal consequences, and both demonstrate the depth of God's love. The story of creation and the fall is not just about loss, it is a story of hope. It reminds us of the Creator's power, the gravity of human choice, and the promise of redemption. Though humanity was cast out of Eden, God's plan to restore what was lost began immediately. The cross would one day bridge the gap between God and humanity, offering a way back to communion with Him. The tree of life, once out of reach, would again be accessible in the New Jerusalem, where death and sorrow would be no more. From the majestic creation of the world to the tragic fall of humanity, the story of Adam and Eve is not just a tale of beginnings, but also a testament to God's unfailing plan for redemption. What lessons can we draw from their choices, and how do they resonate with our own lives today? The journey of humanity from Eden to eternity is one of restoration, and it invites us all to seek the Creator's purpose in our lives. Reflect on your role in this grand narrative. Like, share, and subscribe to explore more biblical truths and timeless stories that shape our understanding of the divine. Let's embark on this journey together. What's your story?